Hi, my name is Sherry Sloan, and I am continuing today to show you how to use Canvas. Canvas is a learning management system by Instructure. So today we're going to build your course. We're just going to start it. And then at the end of today's video, I'm also going to show you how to set your grading up so that you can weigh your grades. And for those of you who don't want to or not interested in that, you can just turn it off at that time. So let's go ahead and get this going. All right, so we're going to, of course, you're in your dashboard. This is what you should see. If you don't see it, just click on dashboard. You should have published courses and unpublished courses, and conceivably you should have 0 of each. But we're going to go ahead and start a new course. And we're going to give our course a name. My course is called Website Design and Media Journalism. And it just asks for a shorter name of it, and I keep mine as private, and I create my course. Okay, your course is now created. It is not live. No one can find it. It is not published yet. When you are ready to publish your course and have students, get into it, this is where you will do so. That will be in a different video that I show you how to do that. Okay, so a couple things. Let's go ahead and set our course up. I always like to go down to settings first. What you see on the left-hand side here in blue, wherever you see the eyeball with the crossed out thing, those are elements that the students cannot see. The ones that do not have the crossed out eyeball are the elements that the students can see. However, if you don't have any quizzes, then they won't be able to see them anyway. It just won't show up there. So once you have quizzes and you have the ability for them to see it, then they'll start seeing those things on their left-hand side. Speaking of student view, at any time as you're building your course, you can click on student view and you can see what the students see for your course. This is your home page. Your home page right now has nothing on it. I'm going to show you how to change that. So let's go ahead and leave your student view. Okay, so let's go ahead and change those things on the left-hand side. Oh, in case you didn't look at that. Let's see what they can see. So on the left-hand side, they have access to discussions, grades, people, syllabus, big blue button. We're not going to be doing that, whatever that is. Collaborations. Mine is going to be very different from this. So let's go ahead and change all that. So we do all that in the Settings tab down here at the bottom. And where you're going to change all of those is in Navigation. But let's get this first. Let's go across these tabs and do this in some sort of order. All right, so first, our course details. You don't have to have an image for your course, but you can choose an image if you like. I'm going to go ahead and upload an image that I have saved just for this purpose. If you're ever looking for awesome images that are nice and big, I suggest, while that's loading, I can show you this. Oops, there it is. Well, I suggest Pexels. It's called Pexels.com, and you get beautiful, beautiful images, and they're all free. So a little bit of extra. I call those cookies for my students. Okay, I now have a photo for my course. I already made the names of my courses. Enable course is a course template. I'm not doing that. But the time zone is kind of important, especially if you have certain due dates and due times. Participation. If you keep this at term, you can't mess with the dates. If you put it to course, you can put your course start and end dates. I have never messed with that. Restrict students from viewing course before term start date. Well, I'm not going to put in start dates. See, it doesn't even let me. Next, language. We're doing English. Large course. Launch speed grader filtered by student group. We're not going to do that. Enable course grading scheme. So this is kind of important. So let's go ahead and click on Set Grading Scheme. Because if you don't do this, your grading system is going to be just like this. So if your district or your school has a different grading system, for example, the district that I work in, we have no minuses. I have to make my own. And so so in my school, it's, this is an A+, and it's 95 to 100. And then from 90 to 94 is an A. And then, well, you get the idea. I'm not going to go through all mine. But you can go through and change all of those, and that would change your grading scheme. All right, so next, we don't need to do any of this copywriting stuff because we have ours set as private. You can put a course description in here. In fact, okay, I have copied my course description, and I'm going to go ahead and, oops, put it in there. And I'm gonna, and then let me go ahead and update my course details. Then we're also going to look at more options. I like to save my stuff after I do some work. It's probably a good habit to have. I'm going to come to more options, and now under more options, okay, this is actually really important. So do you see where it says let students self-enroll by sharing with them a secret URL or code? You want to do that. So basically you're going to get, and I also add a join this course link for the course homepage, number of announcements to show on the homepage. I don't usually show announcements, but I think I am going to use announcements this time around. Let students attach files to discussions. I don't do discussions. If I decide that I want to change this later, I can, but I don't do discussions. Let students organize their own groups. No. Hide totals in the student's grade summary. I find that students really hate when you do that, so I don't hide their grades. I let them always know what their grades are. Hide grade distribution graphs from students. I don't know what that is, but I don't feel the need to hide it. Disable comments on announcements. No, I think I'll be able to let them comment on it. And only teachers can create, etc. Okay, I'm going to update this course. So remember when we checked that students will have their own little URL? So if you go into settings now, at the bottom, you will see that it's changed a bit. You see, this course has been enabled open enrollment. Students can self-enroll in the course once you share with them this URL, and they give you your own little URL. Alternatively, they can sign up. They can just go to canvas.instructure.com/register, and they can use this code. So there's different ways to do it. Just try them both out. I think in this one, it gets a little confusing for the kids because they're not a student yet. This is the one that I use, though. I just have them do that, and then they fill out all the stuff as a student. Okay, so that is how your students will enroll, but we'll talk more about that later. Let's look at our sections. So if you have different sections to your class, let's say you have some students who are ELLs and you want them to be graded differently, but this is how you are dividing your students if you want. I have never divided my students into sections, although for this class I'm going to, because it happens to be a 7 through 12 class. So I'm going to have a couple things that are different for my 7th to 8th graders versus my 9th through 12th grade. Okay, so now I have a couple of little sections here. Next is navigation. This is where you're going to change everything on the left-hand side. I keep very few things over there for my students, so I'm just going to set mine up the way that I set mine up. You can always change this later. And remember, if you choose to keep things like quizzes and assignments over here, they're not going to see them until you have a quiz. That's our next thing we're going to do, or until you have an assignment. So let me go ahead and just drag some of these things out of here. I don't do discussions. Oh, you can also change the order. I usually give my students access to people so that they can message other students. Pages, and I think I'll keep pages, grades, of course, announcements, assignments, good. All right, so I'm going to keep that just as is. You can set yours up any way that you want to. I'm going to click on Save. And now let's see how my student view has changed. I click over to student view all the time. Oops. Oh, I don't feel like going over to home just yet. Hang on. Apps. We don't have any installed. I don't really use these external apps either, but you'll see that it's a pretty robust program. We're not doing anything with this, and we're not doing anything with this. So that's it. Just the first 3 things is all you really need to deal with to set up your course. And now your course is set up. So I want to take this time to, well, let's look at the student view. So as of right now, a student in my class will only see these things, even though I had more over there, but because I don't have any assignments yet, they won't see the assignments. So this is what my home screen looks like. Okay, you can choose to have a different home screen. As you'll see, we are in the Home tab, and if you see here, you can choose what you want your home page to be. Now, if you want a home page to be different, I mean, you can have lots of different things on your home page. I have mine as my modules. That's just what I like to do. But you can choose your home page. I'm going to choose mine to be my course modules. But you can also make a page and have that be your home page. You would do that under Pages. That's not today's lesson though. All right, so we have created your class. We have set up your scoring. We have set up the left margin for the students. So now this next part here is for those teachers who like to weigh grades. I'm not showing anyone else anything new, so if you don't weigh your grades, see you in the next video. For those of you who weigh your grades, come on over to assignments. And then in assignments, we're going to come right over to these 3 dots. And we're going to do assignment groups weight. We're going to weight our final grade based on assignment groups. And so far, I only have 1 assignment group. It's called assignments. Well, that's not going to work so well. So let's add a couple more groups. So maybe you want one to be quizzes. There's one group. And maybe you want another one to be projects. And then maybe one that's homework. And then maybe you don't want this assignments one. So now we have 3 categories, and now let's go ahead and weigh them. And you can do this any way you want to. In my district, homework is 10%. I can make my projects 50%. That would make quizzes 40%. So, and that would be 100%. So then as the students are accumulating their grades, you'll see that they are weighted. And that's all for today. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to create a quiz. You would think I would do an assignment first, but quizzes are actually a little bit easier. So we're going to create a quiz first. See you in the next video.